Hey guys, welcome back to OverLand. My name is Chad, and today we've got something that has become a bit of a cause for alarm. So let me show you what we've got going on here. We fire her up cold. She's got 40 pounds of oil pressure. However, issue when she gets hot. I'll show you that when she warms up. Here we've been idling for about 5 minutes. You can already see the oil pressure is dropping, and we haven't even come up to temperature. So since I don't have access to a CAT ET or to a manual oil pressure gauge, I decided to drive it over to a local shop. I called around and I was kind of surprised at the number of shops that wouldn't even touch this truck. One, because they said it was motorhome, and two, the other ones didn't touch military trucks. But I did finally find a shop that actually said that would work on it, so I took it over to them. And as you can see, we are not even up to operating temperature. And we go to 0 on the gauge. Give it a little juice and it'll come back up. Okay, well, the truck's behind the cage in the that worldwide equipment here. So we're gonna get the oil pressure issue taken a look at. And you know, Aaron here is super nice. He recommended a breakfast place down the road, so we're gonna go get some breakfast and give him some time to diagnose this thing. So there was a comment on the previous video that was asking, you know, why are we towing a car? This video is why we tow a car. One of the reasons why we tow a car. So after we had breakfast, went back to the shop, and they still hadn't gotten the truck into the bay yet, so they weren't really sure when they were going to be able to get to it. We just decided we were just going to jump in the car and start heading down the Blue Ridge Parkway. So we wanted to drive the Blue Ridge Parkway, so we said, what the heck, let's drive the Blue Ridge Parkway. And we'll just drive south as far as we can until the shop calls us and tells us what they're going to do. All the epicness of the Blue Ridge Parkway. We did find more than just beautiful scenery along that trip. We actually stopped by the Live Oak Gastro Pub in Spruce Pine for some lunch, and they were dog friendly. It's our hotel for the night. We are surrounded by the Vespa Mafia. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this room is pretty damn good. Not too shabby. Your pants are undone, lady. Best thing to a happy marriage? Separate beds. Truth. So how did that muffin come out? I'm gonna go ahead and chop the audio here as the copyright music in the background, but needless to say, we had some extra time in Bristol, and we went to breakfast at Southern Craft Barbecue again while we awaited the call from the shop to see what was going on. Well, here we go, pulling out of the shop. We got a new oil pressure transducer in there, or oil pressure sending unit. Unfortunately, gauge still reads shit, so we're gonna have to replace that gauge to see what happens. But at least we have pressure according to the manual fuel pressure gauge. Well, luckily enough, I did know somebody in Lewisville, Kentucky, or just outside of Lewisville, Kentucky, that might actually have a gauge I could steal, or at least a couple for testing. So we hooked up the car and headed to Louisville to spend the weekend at an undisclosed location. I mean, come on, who am I kidding? Everybody knows it's Tracks Off-Grid, and I was stealing parts from Steve again. So I knew he had a couple of new trucks in there, and one of them was his, so figured I'd take the gauge out of his truck and see what happens. Also, with this being the weekend and, you know, me supposedly being retired, I didn't want to work too hard, so we decided to go check out the Bourbon Trail. Stop number 1, Bullet Distilling Company. Because, you know, bullet rye is delicious.
If I stop number 1, you mean the first one we remember to record?
Yes, first one we remember to record. They also do bourbon slushies.
Oh yeah.
Oh, look at you, monkey.
She's like, I found Oh, I found ice.
Look at that face. She's so happy.
Everybody
She's
catered
like,
to me.
oh,
That's
thank
right.
you. Yeah.
Yep, that's the standard bullet rye. That is good. Man, I think I like the 10-year bullet.
Both of these are good. That one's bite.
That's the rye. That's what we normally drink.
Really?
Yeah.
I like these two better so far.
So.
I'll be happy to answer anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so like you were just gonna ask the American barrels.
Well, yeah, they're all in white oak barrels. Are they like wine? Were they in wine barrels? Were they wine barrels before?
Bourbon laws state that we have to use fresh white oak barrels. Yes, we just we have to use fresh oak barrels for our bourbon, and then after that, we send them off. Our barrels have a lifespan of about 80 years.
Okay.
After they do our bourbon, then we send them off to Scotland. They do Johnny Walker. Then they go to Don Julio to do tequila.
Oh my God!
And then they retire with the captain and do some Captain Morgan rum.
That's where they make a table with the. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Whiskey Thief Distilling.
So it's 95% rye, 5% malted barley. It's coming in at 119.6. And it does not drink like it's 196. Yeah, you can get hammered pretty quick. Challenge accepted. Now the first one for me, I think it was Christmas.
I didn't have
So how hot is it, Sky? Yeah, it's hot, huh? Mama lady over there ordering us food. Okay, since we don't have a whole lot of national parks, let's just put this one right here. Well, anybody that said let's go hiking in, 86 degree freaking Tennessee weather is an idiot. It's not too bad. It's only about 80 degrees, but the mosquitoes are thick in this little chunk of woods, so got to keep moving. Otherwise, it will suck my blood dry. But it's a cute little park. It's actually pretty good size. So it's only about 3 miles of trail, but cool. It's right in the middle of a big housing development, or a bunch of different housing developments.
Right on a country club.
Yeah, next to a country club. So part of the trail, I think, is supposed to come back by the golf course. So we'll check that out. Oh, look at that. And wow, we're back in the cab again, doing my favorite thing again. Oh God, we're all the way down. This is terrible. All right, let's move all this junk. Start tearing the dash apart so we can get to that gauge. No, don't lose the. Oh, come on, don't lose stuff. Looks like the boys are showing up for work today. Oops. Dang it, dropped one. Uh-oh, where'd that one go? Crap. I gotta go freaking to the store and buy ones. No way. No. Alright, I'll count them, make sure I have enough. And if I don't, I will go buy some more. Great. I should keep just extras of these anyway. Like 10mm bolts for these damn door handle. That thing has lost this thing again. Of course, this little magnetic tip doesn't do anything because they're stainless steel bolts. Nope. Okay. Alright. Now I gotta resort to the other stuff. Probably should just go grab a 7mm wrench, but I mean, come on, when you have a crescent wrench that looks like that, you just gotta use it. Peel back the petticoat here and see if we can't get to that gauge cluster. Leave it in frame. Can't see nothing. Can't see nothing. Hang on. Now it's recording and I hope you can see it. Now I need a 8mm, I believe, wrench. Where's that? Yeah, it's 8 or 9mm wrench. or a croissant wrench. Micro croissant. So much fun. Glad I put lock nylock nuts on these. Alright, well, I'll bring you back when this is done. So that's a no-go. The new gauge reads the exact same as the old gauge, so it's got to be a grounding issue somewhere in the dash or somewhere over there. So we're gonna have to do a little more troubleshooting. Okay, confession time. I have absolutely no idea what the problem is. So I've been all through this dash. I have been all through the power distribution center panel over there. I see no faults. Everything is ohming out. If I ground the gauge, it sweeps to 100%. I'm getting values coming out of the oil pressure sending unit. We know we got over 20 psi hot at idle. It goes over 60 psi when you put the engine under load on the manual oil pressure gauge. So I mean, at this point, I have no idea. So if you guys have any ideas of where I should start troubleshooting this, go ahead and leave those comments down below. Because in the meantime, I think I'm just going to go ahead and ignore it. I mean, normally I would say this is a Huey system, so I would say if it runs out of oil and it doesn't have any oil pressure, it's not going to be running. But if it wasn't for Adept Apes channel, he's put out a video a couple weeks ago that showed that he had a Huey pump or Huey engine running with no oil pressure. So, all right, now I'm nervous, but I do know a guy that has an extra 3126 that I could probably buy off of him if this thing does decide to turn into a grenade. So I'm just gonna run her. Let's just send it. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to tour in Bourbon Country, and then we're gonna head out of here and go see the rest of the country. We're gonna keep heading up towards Maine, get up. We want to eventually hit Acacia National Park, and I think we've got the next video is going to be pretty cool. I think I've got a good idea of what I want to do for the next one. So practice makes perfect. I think our dog has left us. Well, you can actually see in the camera we got a little bit of a sunrise coming up. It's our last day here in Lewisville, Kentucky. Heading for a walk. Oh, puppy pooping. Stand by. Anyway, I want to thank you all for coming by and watching this one. I hope you enjoyed our little secondary tour of Lewisville, Kentucky. And thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.
You're welcome to pet her.
Oh
yeah,
she's.
she's.
We were over at Buffalo Trace this morning, and I'm like, it's not the same people because it looked like the same dog. But
Well, it turns out when Steve's not paying attention, his shop provides full DIY services, including haircutting services. Look at that.